guys, what's up? I'm Zoe, and at the time of this recording, I'm actually graduating from Duke in 2 days. My major is computational media. So I want to make this video for y'all who are deciding whether to do Duke's Focus program. I asked current students and recent grads what they really thought about it, what they loved, what they didn't, and whether they'd recommend it. So first, a quick explanation of Focus. You apply to a themed cluster and you take 2 small seminar classes within it. You live with other students within that cluster. You also attend these weekly dinners with Focus students and your professors. And keep in mind that these dinners and classes only run through fall semester of freshman year. So now, let's hear what real students thought about it. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Trinity Quay. I just finished my freshman year, so I'm a sophomore now. I'm majoring in English. I was in the Thinking Through Music and the Arts focus.
I'm Zoe again. My cluster was Virtual Realities, Fictional Worlds, and Games.
My name is Jordan Hepburn. I'm from the class of 2021. I studied philosophy and nursing. And I did the Humanitarian Challenges cluster.
I'm Stone. I am now a rising sophomore. I'm studying biomedical engineering. I decided to take the medicine, health policy, and ethics cluster. I think it's those 3 things. I'm not sure if it's in that order.
Hi everyone, my name is Alan. I'm a rising sophomore studying electrical and computer engineering, and I was in the science and religion focus cluster.
Why did you apply to Focus?
I applied to Focus mainly because I wanted to start out my time at Duke with a smaller, close-knit group. I was coming from a smaller school, so I just thought it would be a good introduction.
I wanted to maximize the amount of opportunities I had to meet people. I was really nervous about making friends my freshman year.
I was just trying to fill up my time with anything, so I was looking at clubs, I was looking at internship opportunities, and I saw that there were some classes where I would live with people who would be taking the same classes. So I thought that'd be very interesting.
I thought it was very, very unique. A lot of the other colleges, it didn't seem to have such a concentrated offering. It's like, oh, if they offer something so special, like, why don't you take part of it?
Well, before I came to Duke, I was looking around, my parents told me to see what Duke had, and this Focus seemed like a pretty cool program, and I could just tell them that I did something.
Why did you choose the cluster you did?
Of the options available, it was the closest one to what I actually wanted to study.
I honestly just wanted to get in. I wanted to find the one that was probably the least competitive, but I chose Virtual Realities, Fictional Worlds, and Games because I thought it was really nerdy.
I was really interested in working with the global poor, working with NGOs, and doing something about that in my life. And so when I heard that there was something called Humanitarian Challenges, I said, this is perfect for me.
It's looking at medicine in a different angle than the science and the chemistry as everyone is so familiar with.
Just the year before that, I had become a Christian, and I was becoming more interested in Christianity and just religions in general and how they relate to science.
What were your favorite parts of the Focus program?
At one point we went on a field trip, and that was really fun. We got to go to an art museum, and it was kind of like a weekend thing. It was also kind of like beach vacation day. And also just like, I got to spend more time with the same group of people. Like, I didn't really know a lot of people in my dorm, but my next door neighbor was in Focus. So got to know some people through that.
So honestly, the highlight of Focus was the small class size and the projects. I didn't want to get lost in like giant lecture classes. I felt like Focus was very tight-knit, and I ended up being able to do a lot of cool projects with other people. So one of the classes I took was constructing immersive virtual worlds. And basically, I got to work with other people on like VR, AR projects. That class was kind of a pain, but I think that honestly helped us get closer.
My favorite parts of it were, first thing, the classes that we took. I took 2 very good classes. One was public speaking. The second one was about the limits of the effectiveness of NGOs, and I thought both of those were like super cool. I would 100% take them again. And then another thing was living with people who were taking the classes. I made very good friendships that to this day I very much cherish.
Definitely the weekly IDC dinner, as they call it, is like an opportunity for you to meet other people from the cluster who are not in your class. And then our cluster director, who was also one of my professors, invited maybe 4 to 5 guest speakers throughout the semester. I think that was very interesting.
My favorite part was that my cluster was really small. So there were only like 12 people in my cluster. And like in my classes, there were just 4 kids or 5 kids. And so we got to know each other a bit well.
What didn't you like about it?
The dinners are mandatory. It doesn't seem like something we should like be required to do.
The worst part of Focus for me was the very beginning. I got assigned to a class. It was an English class, and I honestly was struggling a lot with the readings. I had to read a lot of books. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with discussion, and I wasn't sure if I could switch out. Luckily, one spot opened up in the games and culture class, so I switched to that. I will say the English class, a lot of people liked it. I just don't think it was for me.
So we would sometimes do some off-campus activities that I did not think were very useful. For other groups, they did very interesting things. Like I think there was like an engineering group, and then they went to Busch Gardens or Six Flags and stuff. And then there were other groups, they went to work on a farm, they went to work at the zoo and stuff. And I thought we would have worked in like an NGO for a day or do some volunteer work. But we just ended up seeing a concert for some person we don't know, and it took like 4 hours and everyone was not very happy. So frankly, there were better things we could have done outside of the classes, but that was the least favorite thing.
I was kind of hard to convince myself to do focus because the credits didn't really apply to any engineering requirements. So as a grad student, it's like pretty hard to logic it out in a sense.
Yeah, so as an engineer, I didn't like that it kind of restricted me from taking some of the prereqs I had taken. So I didn't know that focus was not meant for engineers in general. Now I know. Now you know.
Was doing focus worth it for you?
There was an intro dinner, and when I went to that, it seemed like, oh, focus is amazing, and it like really changed people's perspectives of Duke, but I feel like it didn't really have that much of an impact. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't significant enough that I think I would have lost something if I hadn't done it.
I would definitely say focus impacted my Duke experience because that's how I was inspired to change my major. I was originally just computer science, and then I switched to computational media. My focus classes were actually really fun, and by the end of like freshman year, I was like, I kind of don't like CS classes that much. And in computational media, it's a mix of computer science and visual media studies. Helped me to like capture the art side and humanities side that I have.
For me, it was definitely worth it. For someone else who wanted to do it, I'd recommend it as well. But yeah, even though there were bad things, I think at the end of the day, it was an overall positive experience and I would do it again.
Overall, yes. I really enjoyed my professors. Like to this day, I still like keep in touch with one or two of them. They're great mentors. Like since I am still considering a medical profession outlook after college.
Yeah, I think overall it was worth it. I'm not like behind or anything in my courseload, and I had a good time. I met some good friends. I got closer to some professors because of how small the classes were, and I learned a lot of interesting new things that I probably wouldn't have if I just focused on engineering stuff.
If this video helped you decide, or if you still have questions, just drop a comment below. This video is produced by Make New, which is a church of Duke students that I go to. You can connect with us on Instagram.